The reason why we're here today is because when I first got elected back in April, and in my inaugural address, I spoke of one Bronx. I spoke of a rich and diverse county here in what I call God's country, where we continue to have many, many different communities who have been here for many generations, but we also enjoy the fact that we have new emerging communities. And the reality is that when you look at, and I believe this next census, and it's important for us to get counted, we will see that in the borough of the Bronx, there are going to be the majority of people who live here who were not born in the Bronx and who were not even born in the United States. And it is because of that, that when you look at the African community, a community that I was able to make a lot of friends, unfortunately during a tragedy of more than 10 years ago during the Amadou Diallo shooting, the African community continues to grow here in our borough. And the African community is very diverse. The African community has been a community that has come to our city, to our borough, and are full of entrepreneurs. The African community enjoys, like many other communities, great cuisine, and many of us enjoy the cuisine here. The African community has also shown to contribute here in terms of culture and also in terms of spirituality and faith. And what we want to do is make sure that, just like every other community, that as you look at the Bronx and as it continues to grow with this emerging African community, that people realize that the African community is here to stay, that they're going to continue to contribute to the future and the vibrance of the great borough of the Bronx on so many different levels. It is because of that that today I am announcing, I believe this is the first time that this is done, and I'm proud and happy of it, and this is my second week of my first administration, of my first term in this administration. I am announcing an African Community Advisory Council so that we were approached by many African leaders, many Bronxites, and we were approached for many different reasons. The reality is that we've seen in some areas of our borough that there unfortunately have been attacks, violent attacks against members of the African community. What we don't want is for this advisory council to only concentrate on the negatives, but how is it that all of the good things that are happening in the Bronx, economically speaking, the infrastructure, business, religious institutes, and we've been joined here by the chair of my clergy task force, Bishop Rosario, and I know that many of the imams, many individuals from African descent are also members of my clergy task force. We want to make sure that as we move forward in the borough of the Bronx, that everyone, every single community has a voice in how we're going to continue to move forward, so that we not only become the borough that has come from ruins to revitalization, but a borough that's going to continue to lead the city, the state, and this nation, and everyone is going to start looking to us, and they're going to start seeing the answers of how is it done. How is it that you can get 1.4 million people that were so much diversity, with different religious backgrounds, that come from all corners of the planet, to come together and really, really turn this around. We'll continue to see that. We are going to continue to work on the issues that are of grave concern to the African community, but also when we build out an economic agenda moving forward, we certainly want the African community to be a part of that agenda. And so without further ado, one of the individuals who came to us and said, you know, we have issues, we have problems, we need your help. And out of that came the conversations of us having this advisory council. Is none other than my good friend Nabi. Nabi, would you like to come and say a few words?
Thank you very much, my Borough President, Ruben Diaz. thank you, our Deputy Borough President, my best and good friend, Green, and thank you, everyone. I think today we see how much people as a community can come in together and be one Bronx community, Uno Bronx. So we have a protocol today where our chair will speak in the name of our council, but I will pass the mic to Musa to introduce those couple of people to start speaking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we must have him remove this hat. This is the Bronx, not Texas. Anyway, I know it's cold, but we are African. We have to give loud applause to our Borough President and our Vice Borough President. I prepared a brief statement which I would like to read, and in the launching of this important council. And it goes this way. Thank you all for joining us at this historic moment in time, and welcome to the Bronx, a destination of choice for Africans in New York. Please join me in honoring the Borough President, Honorable Ruben Diaz Jr., for his vision and leadership in creating this timely advisory council. Through this advisory council, 4 immediate actions will be taken in addition to its stated long-term goals and objectives. These are to facilitate the closer cultural, social, and economic collaborations with the greater African community, namely the African Americans, the African Latinos, and the African West Indies in the Bronx. Number 2, to be an effective outreach tool to community services such as current important census counting of all the Africans in the Bronx. Number 3, to mobilize, educate, and facilitate civic participation of Africans in the Bronx. And number 4, to act as a two-way conduit between the Borough President's office and the African community in the Bronx. These are 4 immediate actions that the Council will take on above what it has already outlined as its long-term objectives. As you shall soon see, the Council provides a tremendous opportunity for the Bronx County, whose majority residents trace their ancestry back to Africa. Again, we give a deserving credit to the Borough President for launching this unprecedented advisory council. With this, now I would like to introduce the initial leadership of the council. We began with our chair, and the chair